So what happened with the Birds?
Oh, man. Where I grew up, too, there was always a Green Bay Packers and Chicago Bears debate. It's like every other person you knew was a Packers fan or a Bears fan.
Right.
And there was always like this, like, fuck. Yeah, last time I was on here was with Bad with Birds.
Essentially, yeah, this is the scoop.
This is the scoop. So, yeah, I mean, we just kind of had a falling out, I guess. I mean, the band was going good. You know, I think we were writing new songs. But
good songs. The songs sounded good.
And there was, you know, and I always loved playing the songs. I got to get my big energy out, just be really like, you know, just like give it my all, but also try to like craft my space within this I don't want to say cacophony, but I like to think of songs like a
structured space,
structured cacophony. You know?
Absolutely,
yeah. So it was, you know, but I think it was just kind of creative differences and personality differences, and there was just it was hard when we got to actually writing, because when I joined the band, all the songs were already kind of written, because they had another drummer, and I just kind of played his parts. But obviously, you know, you don't want to just play somebody else's parts, right? You want to have it in writing everything, right? So when we came to start writing, it just got kind of hard, and I think we were all kind of busy, and some people couldn't really commit, me included, to like really sitting down to like writing stuff and figuring stuff out. We'd all kind of hoped it would just kind of happen at practice, and sometimes it did.
Sure.
But I think there was just another level of effort that we had to put in that we weren't able to do, and when we did, the results weren't like we would just disagree upon things.
I totally relate to that, dude. Even with like a band of 2 or 3 people I've had in the past, it's like that's hard enough, let alone 5 people.
Yeah, and then, you know, and then this band too, there were 2 brothers, and I think this fact that they're brothers just made it hard, because, you know, brothers have a different relationship than friends do, right? So it's just a little more interpersonal, right? A little more like just, yeah. So you know, we basically decided just to, you know, hey, maybe we should lay this bird to rest.
Yeah, no bad. I was gonna throw a bird pun in. I'll do it anyway. No bad bird blood.
No bad bird blood.
That's good. No wars. No one's. That's good.
Me and Vaughn are still. Well, we're already in another band together, Fat Saturn. That's still going. And then we're in a band called Bad Honey. So
you're in that band too.
Yep, yeah.
Because he texted me immediately after Bad Birds, just for short, broke up, and saying he wanted to come on with Bad Honey.
Yeah, and I hear that's happening like next week or something, isn't it?
That's something. It's
like
on the books,
so,
dude. Yeah.
So look out for that. And I won't be here for that. I think he's going to bring Matthew, who's kind of the face of the band.
Tight.
But yeah, so it was kind of funny how, and you know, that thing was already kind of queuing up. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna like quit Bad with Birds and go join Bad Honey. It was kind of like, oh, hey, we need a drummer for Bad Honey. You want to play? And I'm like, let me hear the song.
So they were already established.
Yeah, and like so Matthew, so on to Bad Honey. Matthew kind of started Bad Honey a few years ago. He had a different lineup, 2 different people, just him and a drummer and a bass player. They actually also all the music. If you look them up on Spotify, all the recordings are that trio.
Tight.
And then COVID happened. I think the drummer moved away, and then the bass player moved away or something. And so Matthew was like, "Oh, I guess I'm done playing music." And then eventually he kind of wanted to get back into it. And he knew Vaughn, and Vaughn's like, "Oh yeah, man, we can find some folks." He met this guy Jojo, who plays bass, great bass player, great like melody writer. He's really good at like just coming up with melodies and like knowing like how to counterpoint. Like as a drummer too, I hear this. You know, if you're in the groove and the bass player all of a sudden goes to the octave, you're like, "Oh, I think we're going to end this section now." You know, things he does things like that really well.
I love that stuff. It's almost like even if you're a teacher, you can't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
Like most of my musician career, I've been a teacher, so I've been able to gush a little bit here and there on my lessons and just like go off. But if I don't talk about it enough, I don't even have words for it. I'm like, oh, he did the thing where we know. Like, for example, the one I think of is
yeah, right.
Like something like that means obvious change is coming.
It's
the end of the song or section or something.
Yeah, it's such a hugely important thing as a musician to be able to communicate to your other fellow musicians what's going to happen, what's happening.
And sometimes it could just be that person's feel too. Like I always wonder if it's like, oh, we both listened to Metallica growing up, so we have the same ideas, or if it's nature versus nurture, or we've been in a band for 10 years and I know that when you blink or whatever that you're going to probably end the song.
Start tweaking behind the drums.
Or maybe that was a shitty example, but whatever.
We're going to the chorus.
Yeah. When I hear a weird bump in the backbeat, I know something's coming.
Yeah, right.
Or like you said, bass. If you can signal with the bass, you're a real
that's sort of, I mean, I have a million things I want to talk about, but that's one thing that at least in my bass playing, because I do play in a band on bass. I'll get to that later.
Sure.
That's something that I've been trying to get better at as a bass player, and I've been going to jams and trying to play bass and like take I guess more of a what's the word? I don't want to say. I guess like a leadership role in the band, not just hanging back and playing the groove, but also like, hey guys, like we've been on this 3-chord thing for a while. I got another idea. Let's go to this thing, and like how to like inform the band. And it's hard. It's also hard because you got to kind of be assertive a little bit, and you have to be sure of what you're gonna do. Right? You have to commit. You can't just like say, oh, we're gonna do this. Oh no.
Right.
Because then it doesn't sound good. Right?
Okay, so speaking to you as a stringed player, as a bass player, bass mind, how many drummers do you play with that don't end the song? Or like, how do I want to say this? They don't end it in time. They go 10 bars too far.
Oh, you know,
or at least.
That's happened a couple times. I only play bass with a handful of people, and most of the times we all kind of understand the musicality aspect enough to where we can do it. But I've seen it happen though. I've seen it happen before where I can tell the band wants to be done, and the drummer's just like.
I've had to say it because one guy in particular never ever in my memory ended the song.
Yeah.
And but we jammed.
You gotta start doing this thing.
I know, and his eyes are closed, and he's somewhere else, and I'm like, "Hi!"
Like, drummer.
You would have to stop playing, but you want that flow, and we'd play 11-minute songs, but like, let's do a 3-minute jam and move on. That would practice our endings, practice our musicianship.
Unless you're the Grateful Dead, you can't have every song be 11 minutes.
Yeah. They covered that, dude. But no, I played in, and even on top of that, guys, just a lot of guys that'll just keep playing. If we're jamming, I get it, but even for fun, maybe this is where I'm too competitive because this is totally a sports guy, not being able to just chill and play ping pong, but like take it too seriously. I want the song to sound refined and fresh.
Oh, totally.
Even if it's a jam, I want people to think, if we're live, especially if we're live, I want people to think that was rehearsed. I don't like to say this is our first time together anymore,
right? Or
together, because I just want them to assume it's good.
I think people dig it too. I think the crowd really digs it when they the band will do something and it was completely organic, but everybody's on the same page, right? And almost if they know it's a jam. Like I've had this with Fat Saturn before, where we're a cover band, so we play classic rock covers, blues songs. We play some modern stuff like Black Keys and White Stripes and Foo Fighters occasionally. But we have these songs, and sometimes we'll have like a blues song, and there's a big middle section, and Vaughn's taking the solo. And we're like, you know what? There's people dancing. Let's just keep this going for a long time, And sometimes, the direction will change. Maybe I'll bring it down, or the bass will bring it down, or something will happen. And now we're in like this no man's land, or not no man's land, but we're in this like uncharted territory. It's like, okay, where can this go now?
Yeah.
And the crowd is almost like, can they do it?
Are they going to take it home? Are they bringing it home?
Right. And I think when you pull that off, people really are like, yeah, these guys are good.
Right.
I've noticed that just playing that tends to be the reaction.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that's something that's hard. You talk a lot about like crowd reaction, and like when you were talking about the drum solo, do more of the things that I get lost because like Guitar Land, I know what guitar players think is cool, but I've forgotten what is entertaining.
It's funny
and not showing off, but just actually something that the crowd likes.
Yeah, because as a kid, I still hate show-offs.
Sure.
I don't do the stick twirl. I mean, I see why people do. I'm like, okay, maybe it is kind of, I guess, like doing that can increase engagement.
Yeah.
But I don't like the whole like look at me attitude. It's just like
for sure.
And so even like
I like the listen to me attitude.
Right.
How can I showboat with my note choice?
Yeah, right. There you go. How can I blow people's minds with this snare drum hit?
At least one guy in the back's gonna be like, dude, that was a great chord transition.
Yeah, right. Yeah, one guy back there, like sizing you up with your guitar playing.